Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to today's video. Can you believe it's time again to choose a monthly TBR? I cannot believe that we are heading into June, but the time has indeed come. So let's pick 5 priority books to read in the month of June using our favorite TBR jar. Okay, as usual, we do have to give the prompts a mix while we talk about reading mood. So last year in June, I actually ended up going on kind of this like literary contemporary fiction kick. I feel like whenever June comes, that's just the reading mood I'm in for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I do feel like I'm starting to head into a similar mood as I was in June of last year. So in May, I did end up reading quite a few fantasies, lit RPGs, like I'm still reading the Dungeon Crawler series. I don't know, I feel like because I read quite a few fantasies, I also finished the Stormlight Archive with The Wind and Truth last month. I'm feeling like, yeah, I want to go into some real world general fictions this month. So let's start with our first prompt. We got to do pink, of course, to start it off. This first prompt says one word title. All right, these ones are always fun. I feel like these are like classics to pull from the TBR jar. One word. Okay, I'm seeing Silver Cloak by LK Stephen up here is one word. Unsure if I want to dive into that this next month. I just feel like it's not the month for it. I do want to read Silver Cloak. I have heard some great things about it, but I kind of want to save it for the fall at this point, or at least like late summer, maybe like an August read, maybe even a July, I don't know. But I don't know if Silver Cloak is a June read. Do I have any one word titles though? Is 11/22/63 one word? Is this, it's numbers. I guess it's technically kind of 0 words. I feel like that's kind of an oddity of a title, and I wouldn't know where to classify that in terms of word count. I do really want to read that book, but I don't think that one follows the rules of the one word prompt. Ooh, okay, I have some one words down here. I have these 2 one word titles. This one is Crescendo by Jane Healey. This is an ARC I received, but I think it comes out, it says on sale June 2026, so it actually does come out this month. Maybe it's actually time for me to read it, but the premise of this one really intrigues me. I was really excited when I got this. It's set in 1950s France, and we're all about ballet and opera and theater, and if you know me, you know I eat that up. I love that. We follow a brother-sister duo. I think they're both very talented. The brother is a world-renowned pianist, and his twin sister Natasha essentially acts as his manager, but when they hit the age of 20, the brother, Max, starts making uncharacteristic mistakes, and he abruptly cancels his world tour without consulting his sister Natasha. I think what ends up happening is that this other French guy starts befriending them, getting close to both of them, maybe even like wooing them or seducing them, and it starts driving the twins apart and just starts like introducing these insecurities into both of them, and they stop trusting each other, maybe. This book is described as gorgeously and grippingly written. It's an unforgettable escape with the pacing of a thriller and the depths of a family saga. And doesn't that just sound so good and juicy and intriguing? I also got these little goodies along with this art copy. This is a bookmark, but it's kind of like a ticket to the opera, which is so cool. And just this note from the publisher that also has sheet music on the back. I love getting themed items with books. It's so cool. But this is actually a really good option. I think immediately right off the bat, this one is intriguing me really a lot right now. The other one is Nymph by Sophia Montrone, and I think this actually would fit the season really well. This one actually also comes out, it says June 9th, so also comes out this month, but I think this is a sort of coming of age story. I'm pretty sure we follow 10-year-old Leo, who spends her summers at her nonna's Italian agriturismo. I mess up the pronunciation of that word every single time I try. Agriturismo. I think it's like a farm stay, like a homestay essentially, but in Italy. So she has all of these wonderful memories with her nonna in the summers here in Italy, but now as someone older, she comes back. I think she's now obviously struggling with more things maybe internally. Lots of things are going on in her life. But one day while she's in Italy, she meets a girl, Dolores, and they spend the summer together, and Dolores starts bringing like beauty, life, and energy back into her world. One of the comp titles of this is Call Me By Your Name, which is a book that I haven't read yet, but I have heard wonderful things about the movie specifically, and I'm definitely curious to read this one. I think the Italian countryside summer vibe is also giving summer energy, obviously, so I feel like that's a good choice too. I feel like these kind of both really fit. Do I have any other one-word titles? I probably have some other one-word titles around the back, but I think these two are both really strong options. Which one do I choose, guys? These both sound so good. Hold on, should we do a first line test? First line in the prologue of Crescendo: the piano is a percussive instrument. Okay, doesn't give us much, but I'm kind of still intrigued. And then the first line of Nymph: the day is gray and luminous and her father is talking about wooden horses again. You know what? I feel like I want to sink my teeth into something juicy, so I'm gonna pick Crescendo by Jane Healey. I feel like I'm gonna eat this up. Yeah, I think Crescendo is gonna be our one-word title book. But this one also sounds just perfect for this month. Maybe we'll be able to pick that one up using another prompt. We'll see. But yeah, I kind of want a really like fiction forward month in June. So fingers crossed we can create that for ourselves. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? This one says a long book. Okay. I was kind of hoping that June would be a shorter reads month because obviously last month I read Wind and Truth and that was just the longest book I've ever read in my life. So I was like, maybe I'll take a break from long books this month and just go for shorter reads, but no, the jar doesn't want me to do that. So in terms of my longest books, I do have 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I also have, where is it? It's back here because I didn't really intend to read this month, but The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. What other long book do I have? You know what? The Jasad by Sara Hashem is also kind of a chunky one, it's looking like. So we first have Stephen King, 11/22/63. This is essentially our protagonist going back in time traveling and changing the moments of what happened at the JFK assassination. And we enter this kind of alternate universe of like, what if this happened instead? I don't think I've heard a single bad review of this book. I think everyone that I've seen read this has absolutely loved it. So I'm definitely really intrigued. Let's see how long this book is. This is 849 pages, so pretty long. It's pretty chunky. I have heard though that this one, it's really simple to read, you know, like Stephen King writes in language that is just very easily digestible and he writes page turners. So I've heard that this is a long book, but like a quick paced long book, like you'll get through it really fast. So that's definitely an option. The Jasad Crown. Did I say Heir or Crown? It's The Jasad Crown though by Sara Hashem. Second book in the Scorched Throne duology, so this would help me finish off a series. I did read The Jasad Heir not in May but in April, and I do feel like I should get to this soon because it is one of those stories that I did enjoy it, but I do feel like it didn't really like hit deep inside of my soul. So it is one of those books, worlds, characters that I think information will like quickly seep out of my mind, and I feel like I should just finish the duology before I start forgetting details of things. But it is a romantasy duology. It is based in Egyptian mythology and Egyptian culture, which I think is very interesting, and I did like the rich world building and the history of this world, but what I didn't love about the first book was the pacing, and I didn't completely connect to the characters in the first book. But I've heard really good things about this second one. This one is 658 pages, so definitely not as long as the Stephen King, but I would say it still counts as a long book. And the prompt didn't say longest book, it just said a long book. And then of course The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I don't know if this is the month. I don't know. I feel like this is one I want to read in September. Maybe August, but probably September, maybe even October. I don't know why. That's just what my brain wants to do with this book. So while I have heard wonderful things about this classic, and while this is 1,108 pages long, it's technically the longest one on my TBR, I don't think it's quite time for this. I need like a couple more months to build myself up for this one. I do know it's going to be an incredible experience. It's another one that I just have never heard a single negative review on. It's a very well-loved classic for a reason, but yeah, I don't want to like sink into a thick, long classic until it's at least late summer to fall. So it's between these two. I think a lot of you guys are probably screaming at me to read 11/22/63, but this would also finish a series. So should I be kind of like productive on finishing series, or should I go for what you guys and what my heart is screaming at me to read? Honestly, I kind of want to read this one. I kind of do. I feel like I shouldn't put the Jasad crown off for much longer, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for this one, at least today. So my gut is not telling me to pick this one up. It's telling me to pick this one up. But this would help me finish a series. Oh, what to do, what to do, what to do. Maybe I'll be good. I'll be good. I already have a general fiction on the TBR. Maybe I'll do the romantasy and just kind of finish this one up. Oh, I wish I could kind of hold off this decision to see what the rest of the TBR looks like and then pick which one based on the other books. Can I do that? Can I do that, or is it cheating? Fine, I'll be good. I'll be good. I'll choose the Jasad crown. I really want to read this though. This could be the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life. But let's pick a third prompt, okay? Okay, this one says, it's a nice fun yellow prompt, and it says a happy book. Let's see, what do I have? Do I have a happy book on my TBR? Okay, I feel like this is for sure happy. This is And Now Back to You by B.K. Borson. It's the second interconnected standalone book in the, I don't even know what the series is called, the Heartstring series. So the first book is First Time Caller. These books are all essentially kind of reimaginings, retellings of those like classic 90s to 2000s rom-coms. The first one, First Time Caller, was Sleepless in Seattle, and this one is, wait, what is this one again? This one is When Harry Met Sally, which actually is still a rom-com that I've never watched, so maybe I should watch it. But this one follows Jackson and Delilah, and they're both competing meteorologists. That's so funny. It looks like Jackson thrives on routine and organization and likes kind of staying in the radio booth, and Delilah loves the adventure, going out in the fields, being spontaneous, and they end up partnered together against their will to cover a historic snowstorm, so they have to figure out how to work with one another. So I'm assuming we're gonna have Delilah being like, let's go do this, let's go do this, just having wonderful, upbeat, spontaneous energy, and then we're gonna have Jackson being like, no, we need to follow protocol and stay with routine. I've actually heard really good things about this one, so that's actually a pretty good option. Definitely a happy feeling book, and something that is kind of rare to find on a Jamie TBR. What else is happy? I don't know, do I have anything else that's happy? I feel like most things that I read are mostly sad, kind of bittersweet, but do tend to have like decent feel-good endings where you take something away from the story and you do kind of feel like warm and fuzzy inside, but I wouldn't describe the majority of the books that I read as happy books. Do I actually not have a single other happy book on my TBR? What is wrong with me? Oh wait, this one's happy. I also have this other rom-com. It's The Shippers by Katherine Center, which I have wanted to read. I do enjoy a Katherine Center romance. This one is set on a cruise ship, and our love interest is like a childhood best friend turned wingman and then turned love interest, I'm pretty sure, because on this cruise, which is our protagonist's sister's wedding cruise, our protagonist, what's her name? Her name is Jojo. She is like, I'm gonna find love on this cruise, or at least I'm gonna like hook up with someone. So she has her eyes set on this guy, but because she's kind of tied up with, you know, like maid of honor stuff for her sister's wedding, she doesn't necessarily have all the time in the world to just like flirt and put herself out there. So she recruits her childhood best friend to help as like a wingman. But I think at the same time, there is some kind of like unresolved feeling situation between the two of them. There were some things in the past that maybe were never resolved. There might have been some feelings for each other in the past. So obviously on this cruise, all of those feelings get stirred up again. So which one out of these two happy rom-coms do I want to read? They're both kind of enticing, to be honest. I kind of like the sound of both of these. I think I'm kind of in the mood for this, maybe because this is feeling very summer vibes and we're finally starting to get like somewhat warm weather here in Toronto. I feel like I'm gonna do The Shippers by Katherine Center. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I am still kind of regretting not choosing the Stephen King book though for the long book. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna maybe break the rules. After I've chosen the 5 books on the TBR, if at the end I'm like, you know what, the Stephen King book will actually fit this TBR better, I might swap those books out at the end. Don't tell anyone, okay? This is gonna be our little secret. Okay, let's do a 4th prompt. We have a turquoise one. This one, oh no. Oh no, but also oh yay. This one says start a series. Okay, Ami, I can hear you. I can hear you. I know what you're screaming at me. I can hear so many screams for The Road of Bones by Demi Winters, which is a Viking romantasy series that I've heard is actually like really, really wonderful. I can also hear you screaming at me to read This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi, which is another romantasy. This is like another enemies to lovers, slow burn that I've also heard wonderful things about. And I can also hear those of you screaming at me to start The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is like a YA mystery kind of a situation where I think we follow a group of teenagers that help solve crimes, which sounds honestly just really fun. So I hear you. I do hear you, but let's also see what else we have. Oh, you know what? I can hear this crowd screaming at me to start Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, which would start the Last Hour series, which I have decided is the next Shadowhunters series that I'm gonna read. I'm still unsure if I'm gonna go over to the Mortal Instrument side ever, just because I've heard too many mixed reviews on the Mortal Instrument side, but for now I'm gonna read this side of the universe, and then after I read this one, if I'm actually still craving more, then I'll dive into the rest of the Shadowhunters books. So this is actually a really good contender as well. But I also do have a bunch of unfinished series that I could start, which like, I know I should probably read the series that are finished first because then I can actually read the whole series. But there's one book in particular that is screaming at me and I really want to pick it up this next month. Actually, I have to pick this book up this next month. So this one would kind of be hitting 2 birds with 1 stone for me. That's kind of a really morbid saying now that I'm thinking about it. Like, why are we hitting birds with stones? Let's maybe not do that. But this is This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Ilona Andrews, which is a tag team duo of a husband-wife couple writing books together, which I think is so fun. But this is a high fantasy series. It does start an unfinished series. This is the only book that is out so far, but more are coming. This is actually our Patreon long distance book club read for June. So I could just be making life a little bit more convenient for myself right now by picking this up because this would start a new series and I am planning on reading it anyways this month. But I am actually really excited about this. So I have mentioned this one a couple times on this channel, but just in case this is the first video you're stumbling on, this is a high fantasy where our protagonist wakes up in one of the fantasy worlds that she has read about and loved. So essentially she has this favorite fantasy series that has never been finished. The last book never came out. Think Game of Thrones. And she's just really, really obsessed with the series, but one day she wakes up and finds herself, in this fantasy world. She finds herself seeing all of her favorite fantasy characters around her. And so in this predicament, she has 2 options of things to focus on. Number 1, how to get back home. And number 2, maybe she can help her favorite characters kind of find their way through the story and get them to the end of the story. And she just wants to help them. She loves these characters. So concept sounds really, really fun. I think I'm gonna pick this one to start a new series. I'm so sorry for everyone screaming at me to start the rest of them. I will I will. I will at least start all 4 of these series by the end of this year. I promise you. This is me making a promise to you, but I'm gonna do This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. I'm excited to read this one. So that is our Start a New Series book. I'm sorry, Cassandra Clare. I'm sorry, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm sorry, Tahara Mafi. And I'm sorry, Demi Winters. I will pick you up one day very soon, I promise. Okay, time for our 5th prompt. Let's see what we pick. I do need another lit fic or like general fiction, I feel like, on the TBR. Let's give her like a good little zhuzh. All right, give me something good. We have a yellow one. This one says, okay, 300 pages. 300 pages. That's kind of short, so that's definitely giving me lit fic vibes because I feel like lit fic and general fiction kind of run shorter. How long is this book? I feel like this is probably shorter than 300 pages. This is 249 pages, so we're running a little short on Heart the Lover by Lily King, but this one's just a general fiction that I keep seeing everywhere. I keep seeing everyone talk about this. Oh, I also really wanted to read Into the Blue this next month by Emma Brody. This is like a toxic romance book I've heard that is kind of reminiscent to The Favorites, but more emotional and has to do with stand-up comedy or skits or SNL or something. And we have like a connection that can transcend time and space. That is all in the blurb of this book and it sounds really great, but this is 430 pages, so definitely a little too long. Oh, you know what? This one I'm really curious to read. So this is Good Joy, Bad Joy by Mickey Brammer, and it's a contemporary fiction that follows 2 best friends, but they're now like 80 years old, and one of them is sick and doesn't have very much time left. The one that's sick was always kind of more of the risk taker, you know, the more adventurous one throughout their lives, and the other friend was always more of a reserved type of person. But now that her best friend is sick and can't go on adventures anymore, I think our reserved friend starts kind of like trying to live life to the fullest to kind of honor her best friend. And I've heard this one is like really emotional. Yeah, her best friend Hazel only has months left to live. She's always been the more adventurous one of their duo, and she seems at peace with all that she squeezed out of her long life, yet Joy realizes she can't stay the same. So she starts, stepping out of her comfort zone and doing all kinds of just like wild things that she never experienced. How long is this book? It does seem like a little bit of a shorter one, so I feel like we'd be close to the 300 mark. It says 288 pages. That's pretty close to 300 pages. I feel like this could be a contender. Let's see if we have a couple other options though. Oh my goodness, wait. How long is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu? Because I've wanted to dive into this one too. This one is 313 pages, so kind of a similar zone. This one's like 13 pages over. This one is 12 pages under. Both could be good options. I'm really excited to read this one. This one follows Mozart's sister's life, but with a little bit of a magic twist, like add a bit of a magical realism twist to it. But it follows his sister because she was also very talented at music, but never had the opportunity to come into the spotlight to compose her own music, because in that day and age, women were not allowed to do so. And so while Mozart, you know, obviously shot up to stardom, his sister was always kind of living in his shadow, and this tells her story, but add a magical twist. And I've heard actually wonderful things about this one. Oh my goodness, those are gonna be really hard to choose from. Should I look for another option, or am I kind of happy with choosing between those? I think it has to be one of these two, and these are gonna be so hard to choose from. Oh, what do I do? What to do? What to do? Another first line test. When in doubt, do a first line test. Okay. We have a really beautiful map here to begin with. Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story you already know, but listen carefully because within it is one you have never heard before. The story you know is about a boy named Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Oh, wait. I want to read this. I think that's going to be the one, but I've heard really good things about this too. So let's give this first line a chance. Good Joy, Bad Joy by Mickey Brammer. I might honestly just pick this one up this next month anyways because it sounds so good. It starts with a gentle tittering of birds outside my window. That's vibes. That's vibes. That's vibes. Okay. What do I do, guys? What do I do, guys? I'm in that just like predicament where every book on my TBR sounds so good and I want to read all of them. I just don't have enough time. And I mean, you guys know me, I pick 5 books for my monthly TBR and then I end up reading like 12 to 13 books a month. So there's definitely a lot of room to read more. I want to prioritize all of them. I think I'm going to do The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu just because this one has been enticing me for longer. I have wanted to dive into Marie Lu's backlist ever since reading Red City in November. And I think it's about time that I dove into another one of her books, where Good Joy, Bad Joy, I recently just got from Book of the Month. So it's a new addition to my TBR. Really want to read it, but I feel like this one can hold a little bit, even though I'll probably pick this one up this next month anyways. So we're gonna put that one back and we're gonna do Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu for our roughly 300-page book. We have our 5 picks, I think I'm happy with these. Am I happy with these? I don't know. I kind of wanted more like lit fic and general fiction with this stack, but I could just kind of squeeze those in on top of these, I feel like. It's like I'm excited to read all of these books, but I'm also just excited to read so many other books that I'm just questioning everything. I am just questioning everything. I'm having a crisis this month. Because I also wanted to read like The Young Will Remember, so high on my TBR, Into the Blue, the Good Joy, Bad Joy book. I do want to read Heart the Lover as well. There are so many books that I want to read, but like I'll get to them. Okay, I have to stop overthinking this before my brain actually explodes. This is going to be the June TBR. For our TBR recap, for a long book, we are going to read The Jasad Crown by Sara Hashem. It has been settled. That one was a kind of a point of contention for a little bit, but I am going to stick with my original choice for a roughly 300-page book, The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. Definitely excited to get into that one. There's a piece of paper that just flew out of that book. To start a new series, This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Ilona Andrews, which is also our Patreon book club read, which is very fun. For a happy book, a little dose of happiness, we have The Shippers by Katherine, a fun little romance set on a cruise ship. And for a one-word title, Crescendo by Healey. We kind of have like an arts theme, like an arts and music theme with this, and also with The Kingdom of Back in this TBR. I feel like that's honestly kind of a fun mood. Okay, this is the June TBR. Okay. It's settled. Does it scream June? I don't know. I feel like the only one that really screams June is The Shippers, because that's obviously a very summer read, but we'll see how the rest of these ones go this next month. I do think this stack is really, really filled with wonderful reads that I'm gonna enjoy. I'm just having a lot of decision paralysis today, okay? So don't mind me. But that being said, that is my June TBR all selected. I hope you enjoyed this one. I feel like my energy was a little bit chaotic today, but I hope you enjoyed this TBR selection. Nonetheless, if you did like this one, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what is on your June TBR. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!